I rolled up and I went upstairs and I sat on the counselor's chair. Very cozy place. I remember it to this day. He asked me, "Bruce, how you feeling today?" And I said, "I'm good. I had a good day at work." He's like, "Yeah, but how are you feeling?" "I'm feeling good." And he responded, "If that were a feeling, if that were only a feeling." And I was like, "What do you mean? Good is not a feeling. How are you feeling?" And I could not give him an answer. I did not know how to identify how I felt. And many men feel this way. They don't know how to identify if they're happy, if they're angry, if they're sad, if they're mad, if they're nervous, if they're pensive. We don't know how to identify how we feel. And so he gave me this piece of paper, had a feelings wheel on it. And I'll put it in the show notes for you. And it was a feelings wheel where you had to identify your feelings. And I had to pick one, and there's levels to it. So you start with the easiest one: mad, sad, happy, joyful, or whatever. And I began to identify that. And then I had to ask the question why I was feeling that way. I had to write it down. And then I had to ask, what was I going to do about that feeling? I had to do that 3 times a day. And I carried a book, and I hate journaling, but I carried the book and I did it. And what I found out was that I realized where I medicated. I realized where I was medicating in my life. If I was angry, if I was anything other than happy, I was binging on fast food, and I was being tempted, and eventually it led to an affair. So checking with your feelings is not something that I'm just saying it just to say it. Like, it really is something that you have to tackle. That's how